Well, we can see here everything has been set up perfectly. Quite a few teams which could take away that first place position on Stalwart. We are living in a world right now in that timeline where Alpha 7 technically could win the duos match and the team event as well.
I mean, the cool thing about the duos tournament here for even the final game is that small sample size of games, and actually even teams with like 18 points or something like that right now, kind of languishing towards the bottom of the table, could still actually push up and take this if they have a decent game here, a game size for this one. So there's still a lot to play for the duos.
Yeah, I think that though a lot of teams, talking with some of the coaches in general, like a lot of teams are not aiming for placement here. They're just trying to get as many match rewards. So,
Yeah,
I mean, of course, one comes with the other. But if your goal is not to be in first place, then you might have a different approach to this final day.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you can see the players are starting to load in onto Sandhawk, but I have to remind you about they're all playing with these fantastic devices. The Sony Xperia 1.4, which is created in collaboration with professional esports players, and Sony's Xperia is the official smartphone partner here of PUBG Mobile. Also need to give a big shout out here to Savvy Gaming Group again. 6 weeks of events, 5 different titles. Couldn't be done without these guys. And for you guys at home, we want to hear your thoughts. Give us fill out a survey here, which actually you can check out over on the Tencent social media. There's also links in chat. Let us know your feedback about the event, about the format, about the teams, maybe about who does the best John Allen impression. Well, I can tell you this. One man who I know does a fantastic John Allen impression is going to be none other than John Allen and Blank here to bring you the first match of the day.
That's right. It's me, John Allen.
I thought, yeah, that's crazy. I thought I was casting with Kalaris for a second there because you do such a good impression of Kalaris doing an impression of John Allen being John Allen.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a skill. It's quite meta, but yeah, we make it work.
Exactly. Remember, send in your John Allen impressions from home. Let us know who can do the best John Allen impression. Yes, you might not be able to get as the deep of the tones as John Allen, but you can certainly try to imitate the Kalaris.
No, there's definitely no way that they can really get that low. I don't think that range is accessible.
All right, Kratos, that's enough of that.
Boy.
This is our final match of the duo show match, so whoever wins this will be going home with a grand prize of $8,000, $4,000 for second, $2,000 for third, and $1,000 for that fourth place. So there's a lot up for grabs here in this final show match of the After Party Showdown. So make sure you're paying attention. We have a couple of teams at the top there. Nigma Galaxy sat with 20, I think it was R8 with 27 points. Or Nigma Galaxy, I think Nigma Galaxy with 27 points. You have R8 with 26 and Stalwart sat right at the top with 30 points. Alpha 7 though, 23 points. Definitely have a shoe-in at the end of this show match showdown. And I think, you know, if they get that chicken dinner and Stalwart goes out early, who knows what could happen.
You know what DBS stands for this time? The Big Showdown, because we've got all of these teams going for the top spot. As we drop north to south, now can the end of the plane path. Early drop for Damwon Kier on the north side, spreading out across the way. Looks like could be a little bit of argy-bargy in paradise.
Absolutely. S2G, R8 have been fighting over this spot for a long time. It was R8 who came on top the first time. And obviously with R8, you see there, they're in third place with 26 points. They have a chance to overtake Stalwart, but first they have to contend with S2G. So see if they can get that first team elimination of the match. Let's see what they can do. SK-Ton and Prestige, see what they can get done here.
Also a little bit of a hot drop in Painan. Falcons on the south coast. Deadeye's guys on the northeast side of the river. In Painan. At the moment, it's S2G getting the better end of the deal here. Silas able to get the flush on SK-Ton, leaving Prestige high and dry and alone.
All on his lonesome. You know, this actually opens things up just a touch here. 7C sat in fifth place with 19 points. Yes, it's a little bit difficult to get further than 26 on R8, but if you get the right amount of eliminations, get a good placing in this match, and if Scout can bring out some of that Scout magic towards the game where he became the snake, he was one with the snake, perhaps he might just be able to get enough points for the team to sit themselves with a prize.
So the highest scoring game so far that we've seen has been an 18-point game from both Stalwart and R8 in the second and fourth rounds, respectively. And so they're going to be looking at that as really a ceiling. At the moment, you were talking about 7C, they're sat 11 points behind Stalwart in 30 points in first place. So it is achievable, right? But it is absolutely a lot to play for, and you need to be fragging out your mind.
Yeah, it is crazy right now because, yes, we played 4 matches, but it's still very doable for some of these teams to overtake. And if you want to make sure that you find out exactly who wins that grand prize at the end of this show match, because there will be no more today, it's all going to be that after-party showdown, those match rewards, and who can take home the most money, as well as take home that first-place prize just in terms of points alone. Make sure you are watching together with us off the PMWI over in the in-game esports center with your friends to win yourself some PMWI special sets, which are still available.
And if you want to look fresh while you're playing, of course, there are the gun skins and the outfits for the PMWI. PMWI packages are on sale for a limited time, and you can also win PMWI treasure crates if you play PUBG Mobile during PMWI.
I know I've been playing some PUBG Mobile during PMWI as if 8 games a day was not enough. I go home and I'm dropping right in our angle as well. So I keep it going, and that's what it's all about. But here, right now, we are on Sandhawk, the jungle. Right now, a lot of these teams feeling the humidity as they start to sweat because there is a lot of points still up for grabs. You mentioned this before. 18-point total has been a game that's been achievable, which would sit like practically down towards down 1 game with 17 points above Stalwart should they go out early. So there are a lot of things that have to happen before teams towards the bottom can ladder up, but there's still a chance for these guys.
Well, I mean, 18 points would see all the way down to 10th place get over Stalwart, right?
Yeah.
If they can get 18 more points than Stalwart in this game. Unfortunately for Rad and Bicatron, not so happy in their current scenario, but there's still time.
Yeah.
And there's still points in the lobby.
Exactly, John. There's still a chance to set the record here.
Ooh.
Additional over the 8 eliminations. So 8 eliminations is already tough as it is. Remember, we are dropping into this match with only 24 players, and already one of them have gone down from R8. We're trying to stick this one out, and why wouldn't you if you're R8? Prestige sends down towards the southwest, past Paradise Resort, to a compound alongside the road just to the east side of Boot Camp. He wants to ensure his survival because you go lower than 4th place, John, you are taking home absolutely nil. So for R8, it's all about survival at this point in time, so we'll check back in them with them should they end up going down or should they survive towards the end of the game.
I'm liking the little picture-in-picture there of both of those perspectives as we swap away from the player from S2G. Keeping track of this fight, though. Bicatron, close by, I think. Neither team really making the push into that compound, and in fact, you can see S2G moving kind of away from it in this scenario. Deadeye's guys and Team Falcons haven't jousted too much either. At the moment, no one going down, but that might be about to change as Yusuf spots the player up the top, Powerful, pushes in as well. Joker pops the nade, has the pin going. Powerful has one of his own, looks to put it over the eaves. Nicely placed, but a little too long. One sent back his way, and again, just too far. Yusuf and Powerful looking to heal.
Dipping in and out at the moment as the pitter-patter of footsteps on the roof side just alerts Team Falcons to the presence of the enemy team. Falcons currently landed on the ground, whereas it looks like the Deadeye's guys are taking to those rooftops, though. On top did drop down, so did Joker. So now playing on even footing at the moment. Dabig shotgun in hand, as well as a UMP, highly accurate when it comes to that close range. So very, very nice here where you want to hit that jiggle peak, spam a couple of shots off and then straight back into cover again. On top's even got the M4 on board as well, so a very nice loadout for him.
Powerful crawling around the sidelines here, looking for that off angle. GBZ in hand, but that's a bouncer. What a backboard dunk there coming from on top on the across the way. Yusuf goes down. Falcons crawling back, looking to get this res. Remember that off-angle reposition I was talking about? That's now going to leave Powerful high and dry, isolated.
This guy paid attention to the basketball explainer yesterday. He knows exactly what he's doing with those lob shots. Now just one remaining, and Powerful tries to jump it around the side, staying as stealthy as possible here. UMP back up to full ammo, as well as with the stims fully on board. Yusuf still not down yet, so there is a chance. Nice shots here, doesn't take a lick of damage. Now on top has to send away, try to isolate this 1v1.
Causes the first aid to be stopped, to be slowed in for the challenge, and Falcons fall. Deadeye's guys eliminate them.
Falcons going out with 13 points there, so no money accrued for them in the duo show matches during the after-party showdown, but there is still a lot more action to go here, ladies and gentlemen. We still have to find out exactly who our victor is and who will be taking home that $8,000 to add to their prize pool at the end of all this.
That's a volley and a half. A lot of noise being made by Stalwart. Action popping off the ka-chunk. And Prestige cowering in the corner.
You know, he's going to have to pull out something special here. So close to the top team from the duos. I mean, top and action. These guys, you know, they go hand in hand. They are a pair, honestly. Two peas in a pod. They make some absolutely wonderful stuff happen during some of their matches. I think the synergy between these guys, you know, that's already hit plus 100 in game. You know that.
Alpha 7 taking on Bigatron. In the meantime, on the hillside, already found one knock early. Clean sweep across the hillside. S2G didn't have a shout in that fight, but now they're across the way. They should have heard that go on. 2 elimination points for Alpha 7. Good news for their push to the top.
Still sitting in 4th place, though. $1,000. But like you say, 2 eliminations, 2 points found. That sends them just a little bit closer to R8. Currently, like you said, cowering in the corner. Not accruing any points so far. So Alpha 7 taking this one slow and steady. Like the Death said, it could really be Alpha 7 going home with it all in the after-party showdown. Not only in the main event, but also in the duo show matches.
DBS and M4 with a suppressor on the back of Prestige. So potential to be a little sneaky snake. What? I'm not sure. Actions.
Fight us!
He's just shooting. He's just going.
Oh, he wants to alert the enemies to them. He's even taking shots over towards his teammate there. You know, practicing his aim. Why not? They've got a fairly central position too. And they know that if they want to hold on to this top spot, you know, it's not a case of just playing slow and steady. Really good off angle from Revo there, and Carrillo set that initial fight up perfectly.
Rod with position towards Stalwart. I mean, there's plenty of noise being made by Stalwart, our top duo currently in the lobby. So people looking their way, and you do need to be worried about your back. That's exactly what Muanir is doing.
The only thing that does concern me about the death pop going on from Stalwart at the moment is the amount of ammo that they're actually expending. I wonder how much they still have left in the tank.
Do you think Action's swapping to just weapons he's finding on the floor?
I think so. It does seem that way. He did have a Thompson before, and now he's back to the M4 and UMP. Again, that's still 45 that he's burning through. A little bit spooky.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, it was just a bit spooky.
Next
circle, just about to come through. Mainland pretty much decided on at this stage as we do wait for that one to tick through. There's the leaderboard on the left-hand side of your screens right now. You can see not too much shuffling going on, but that gap between Alpha 7 and R8 has closed by 2 points. Only 1 point in it now. That's a fairly hard shift and actually cuts out about 25% of the circle.
Yeah, with the river actually moving through there, it's going to be a little bit tough. Look, there's no teams over on that Northwest Island. We cut that out a long, long time ago. It wasn't likely to head up there, so we ain't got no swimmers this match, which is the good thing. No one getting too wet during this one. And honestly, you wouldn't want to. I mean, you're not going to dry off for a little while. It's only going to make things worse for you. No, come on, guys. Don't go for the heel strike. I want to see some action.
Ooh. Shots up the top of the hill. Looks like down one Kia have found their stride against Rad. And a clean sweep for the Korean squad. The duo, Forrest and Fabian, able to take 2.
Nice stuff found there. 2 eliminations. We said this before. Down one gaming, you know, they're still not out of that prize pool bracket just yet. There's still opportunity for them. That takes them up to 19 points now. Tied with 7C.
Oh, Sarang spots top. And they see each other. Barrels on the mark. It's top. Half HP. Popping the bandages. A lot of meds in the back. Smart to use the bandages now. Keep those 4 first aids for later.
Absolutely. Just stim up a little bit. Make it happen. Sarang, though, tapping away over towards Stalwart. Those are the fingertips of giants here with the M4 slamming some bullets into you. feels just a little bit more hefty than a tap. Scout watching behind himself. You know, he is the scout. He is the snake, so he's very aware that there could be more snakes in the circle. You know, he understands the importance of that.
The serpent from the
Yes.
Indian region. Proved himself against Stalwart.
That's right.
Game number 1.
Bared his fangs against them. They
Taking the
weren't
chicken
ready
dinner.
for it.
Plenty venomous. Hamodi into the circle. Lord a little bit lower. Further out as well. Not quite even across the river. The circles won't quite tick hard enough to take Lord down, I don't imagine. You can see they are going to have to keep going because that blue zone will not relent.
Got 6 painkillers, 2 painkillers, 6 energy drinks, 16 first aids. You know exactly what's happening here. I don't think I have to spell it out for you guys at home. I'm sure you're smart enough.
I wonder what Lord has on board. I wonder if Lord has a different set of meds going through or trying to loot up at the back. We'll have to wait and see. Stalwart still playing that Crossroads compound prestige, hiding this whole time.
Yeah, with the DBS as well, so he's ready for anyone that tries to rock up on his shack. He'll defend it to his last breath. And there will be a fiery breath coming out the front of that DBS. S2G, though, their initial skirmish with R8, which they did win out, in fact, and it seems like they're getting better and better at that as the days go on. They took some humility, let's say, yesterday, as R8 just immediately squad wiped them.
With Bigatron and Rod both going down, that's the bottom 2 spots decided. With everybody else still with a shout into this one. Next circle coming on through. Southside Nephop Galaxy have made it into the circle, so they will be playing a little bit more. It centers up towards Stalwart, so it is going to be a challenge. It is going to be on the teams looking to take that top spot to take the initiative here, Blank.
Marshy down towards the southwest, so Nephop Galaxy not likely to make too many bold moves as of yet. And right in front of them, there is a ridgeline, so they're not going to be spotted by any of these teams off towards that north side just yet, and they can get some scouting done. Deadeye's guys, though, making a long wrap around boot camp on the coastal side. They want to stay out of any kind of action for as long as possible, but it might just mean that they end up spotting the guys from Nephop Galaxy.
Hamodi under pressure now, across the water, makes it to a tree. Can he get down? Just in time, but the buggy might not be so lucky if it goes up. It might be able to take the damage needed to get that knock, but Hamodi evacuates the position, gets to the shoreline there, and should be able to heal here.
He's got plenty of meds on board, so, you know, not likely he's going to be too unhappy about that, but he has dropped them all now down to Lord. Yeah, this guy has been typically doing the healing for the rest of the team. Most of the time when they play the squad matches, the Lord's going to be out there for a while. And honestly, I don't blame them. Nephop Galaxy, 27 points. I think it is a bit of a stale thing to do in duos, but you want to make sure you can try and secure those points towards the top, because you know that Stalwart makes a fumble and you get a second place there with those 6 points. That's going to send you above Stalwart. As we head our way into 9 teams remaining, and Stalwart still having a very, very strong position in the circle, I think it's unlikely that they're going to go down early.
7C right next to Hamodi, who did manage to get some of that ground cover. Stalwart can't quite see Hamodi's position, but I tell you, probably can if they do turn their attention that way, is Vampire Esports. You can see Fluketh up the top there, with potential oversight onto Hamodi's position, but the rock he's at right now should obscure that vision. There's a couple of trees as well with their foliage providing sanctuary.
Yeah, this is probably one of the more fun endings here on Sandhawk, honestly, because there is so many compounds available, so many little bits of cover involving just hard cover as well in terms of the rocks and these wider trees as well, so you can play in this area. Still plenty of opportunity for a bit of snaking, but most teams would like to play more of this long-range gameplay with the M4 in hand, 6X, 3Xs, that type of thing. Lord, though, again, just healing it out with the level 3 backpack on board, with the initial stimulant of medical supplies that Hamodi did pass off over to him.
26 first aids. Doesn't even need to dip into them just yet. Still in zone 4. Can push on up. Sarang swapping out, hot swapping between the Kar 98 and one of his other weapons there to just try and pop a shot, playing Peek Me in the southwestern edge of this circle. Lord moving up that little bit further. The circle goes north and cuts out Stalwart's buildings.
Yeah, this is a little bit rough, so they will have to make a jump out. Potentially they're seen on their crossing as well. There is slightly a little bit of their compound available. Top's closer to it. You can see them starting to move there on your map. Hamodi starts to creep his way in. Vampire Esports, though, they've got a long trek ahead of them over on that ridge side. Coming down from the mountain as well is going to make them very visible to a lot of these teams. You can see Ravenclaw's actually already taken a little bit of punishment on his side. But definitely one team at least knows where he is.
No shots for Scout, not just yet. Maybe spotting Flukas on the ridge line, but peeks back in. They should be visible from Vampire Esports' position. They have to make their choice now. Out the window, Sarang. Smoke being popped by Scout as well. Allowing them to get into the buggy, accelerate away. With a little bit more cover than they previously had. Vampire making their own moves as well. Looks like they're on a bike. Gonna have to be pretty heads up about where they crash into. They're making that move. Scout not so lucky on that rotation. Sarang in the buggy, across the way, low HP, and right up to the top here. 7C, they have a chance here in this game to jump up towards the money. But with Scout going down, it's only Sarang, and low HP means that Top can pick that one up into the back pocket. That's another point for Stalwart.
So now with 2 eliminations, 32 points now. It's getting a little bit harder to remove them from this game. And though they're right on the edge, S2G currently hold a nice position with a fair bit of cover around them that they can play in a 360-degree angle. And next circle drops right on top of them too.
With Lord healing out in the blue, Hamodi's taking the fight forwards, but will get knocked by the play zone. Will go down here. No res is available. They are going to play that heal game outside, see how far they can go. They want Stalwart to fall so that they can jump on up. But you have to be worried about Alpha 7 going further.
Honestly, the closer Stalwart gets towards these top 5 teams, the more difficult it becomes for Alpha 7. Luckily for them, obviously the format is changed, so you get less points for that second place now by about 4. And Prestige does see Top.
Ooh.
Has the nade as well, but doesn't want to let his position be known just yet.
Not quite. Smoke for Top to get him a little bit further forwards in these compounds, but I don't think they know that this player is here. Down one Kira under pressure from Deadeye's guys. In come the push down the hill for the squad. Nade could be good here for Prestige. Top seems to have one cooking. It's cooked out the window, but not going to get the damage necessary. Prestige wants the spray instead, but the nade finds it. R8 eliminated. That's the 3rd place team, and Alpha 7 looking good to push up.
Up to 5 eliminations now, 35 total, but it's Revo with an unbelievable spray transfer there, which will take Stalwart out of the game, and this might just be the chance for Alpha 7 now, looking for those 10 points. Damwon Gaming.
Drop the shot there. Forrest stays alive. Damwon Kia will be carrying on for now. 3 eliminations, 6 elims now for Alpha 7. 4 teams remain. Lord from Nigma Galaxy still alive as well, but with the elimination difference, that's going to be real close cut. 4 points started this game between Nigma Galaxy and Alpha 7. Their current elimination difference means that Alpha 7 will be ahead.
6 eliminations as well there, taking them to 28 points. They're looking for that window, John. A win and a couple more elimination points will see them set steady, and this is the difference between them and Nigma Galaxy. They came into this match not looking to secure a second. They wanted to take it all home with the 1st place, and now looking to deal with S2G. Nice Molotovs will prevent the pushback from S2G for the time being.
Can Lord get a backstab off here? I don't think he has the time to pop these shots until the first aid supplies run low. Had plenty before, 11 still going. So, still has quite a bit of time here to outlast Damwon Kia, to try and outlast the other 2 teams with 2 players.
Forrest, though, a lot of bullets in the back pocket there without needing a reload, so can go for an extended fight all on his lonesome. 3 eliminations for them. They can get to a 2nd place. You know, they're going to be able to bump up their money somewhat.
S2G with their last shout into this lobby as well. Not going to be able to jump up too far, but still potential end of the money. If Things go well for them. Oh, behind the same rock, Silas unleashes a nade, but it doesn't quite get the damage they were looking for. Revo breaks out wide, straight down across the gap. No trade-off yet, but in comes Forest. He shuts down Silas on the roof. That's stolen away by Carrillo on the point. Revo's still down, though, and it's a 1v1v1 in the circle. Lord is still out there. Lord could still do something.
This is rough, but he goes down. Doesn't even try to attempt it. Carrillo all by himself now.
Against the DBS, Kelsey sends out wide, gets the flush, but the spray is good for Carrillo. Whop and swap, goes for the spray with the M4, but the shotgun is good. Kelsey takes down Alpha 7. Have they done enough? We'll have to wait and see, but Forest is still there. Second place for Alpha 7, and I think they were just pipped to the post. The nade from Forest, and down one Kia earn a bunch of points on the game as well. 14 to jump up the tables.
But is it enough, though? That's the real question. Did they make it into the top 4? We'll have to find out shortly, but what an attempt from Alpha 7. Just too little too late, with Kelsey hitting an insane headshot onto Revo as he made the cross. Smart moves overall from Alpha 7, but they just weren't able to eke out at the end. Still, second place, $4,000 in the bag, but it will be Stalwart with their deadly duo, with Top and Action, taking home the $8,000 here in our show match.
Wow, wow, wow. And Alpha 7, to be fair, will still get plenty of money on the game on this duo's performance. But that's the power of the DBS. Around the side of the rock, it shut down one of the strongest players in our lobby.
It was really rough there, but we're going to head over to the match rankings presented to you by STC.
And Jason Kaplan. Wait, what? We're not even doing the match results, we're doing the overall results. All right, so Stalwart Esports taking themselves the title here of our duo tournament, 37 points, and they get themselves $15,000. Alpha 7 getting extremely close, though, to catching them. If they just held on a little bit longer, if S2G didn't knock down Carrillo, if they were able to just do things a little bit differently at the end, a little.
I mean, ultimately, I knew that coming into today, I said Stalwart, I'd been stabbed in the heart a little bit from yesterday, but there was no way they were going to have two bad days in a row. They started off with enough, is fair to say here, to get themselves the #1 spot. Alpha 7, though, and actually a few of these teams were hot on their heels towards the very end.
Yeah, actually, Nimmo Galaxy trying to go for the heal strat, Lord trying his best, but heal strat in this format, you're not going to get too many placement points from a second place, right? If it was still like the 15.4 chicken dinner rule set, then sure, that strat would have been viable. Here, unfortunately, lacking limbs, and lacking a limbs is not going to go any further.
And I'm really glad we actually got a chance to check in with him as well, and see how many first aid kits he had, because once we see that, at least here as analysts, we know how the kind of timer that he's got against him. And with a circle like that, sometimes those circles can play out quite slow. Not enough time for him to constantly be healing and keep going, but I think he missed one of the heals towards the end.
I think he missed one. He still had 3 at that time, so really he was so close to the circle too. He could have actually got to the road, so that could have been a completely different ending, but still good attempt, and unfortunately a little bit low on the side. BTR, Rad Falcons having a little bit of a tough time to really show up in these duos.
The Rad Falcons,
The Rad
The Bigatron Rad Falcons.
That's right.
The Bigatron Rad Red Falcon. I don't know.
Okay,
anyway,
no,
I mean, we do have 6 minutes, as you can see on the clock, till we get into the first match of our teams event. But congratulations to Stalwart. You know, again, they didn't get any points, I think, day 2, right? We were talking about like 30 points after the first day. Day 2, they got nothing, at least able to stay alive here when it came to the third day.
Yeah, I mean, luckily they got like, 3 eliminations relatively early in that game, right? They were cleared out. Also, Prestige in a really bad spot, but they were holding that trifecta building, and the moment that circle moved away and teams were already at rocks, at trees, and like in the circle itself, it's really hard to move away from that location. So they did get a few limbs, but the final circle was not the easiest for them to deal with.
Yeah, quite uncommon actually for as many teams and players in that area that they were when we had that kind of shift move and those 3 compounds still in play. So it actually caused them a little bit of a barrier to move further in the game, considering that usually people would be more spread out across that big circle, but yeah, not bad.
Okay, well, gentlemen, we're going to take a quick look at some highlights here before we get into our MVP of the Duos tournament, and you know what's going to be coming.
What's going to be coming? Tell me.
Okay, Max doesn't know what's coming, but Kalaris knows what's coming.
For the MVP?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's easy.
Okay.
No problem.
Okay, I knew that.
Max, your cogs aren't working quickly enough. You need to, Jason tries to throw out his cryptic riddles.
He already talked about the MVP, so I'm like something else after MVP, but no MVP. Yeah,
Why did I talk about MVP?
You said about the MVP, like see who is going to be winning.
Well, we really did justice to these highlights, guys. Good job. As, a nice little nade to finish things off for down one Kira as well, to finish off that scenario.
Yes.
Okay,
Stop.
Max. Are you ready, Max?
I'm ready.
Okay, let's see our champion stats here. It's actually not the MVP just yet,
Oh.
but I hope you got your predictions ready to go.
got it.
Just a few. Obviously, the best
Hey.
duo coming through. 587 average damage and average limbs of 3.8. Not too bad.
That's actually really good. And then they had a 0-point day, right?
Yeah.
For the duos, like 3.8. You got to say, like day one was insane, and also the feelings they got here was great. But their first day was absolutely mental. Like 14 eliminations in 2 games total for the whole squad. Of course, like that average is going to be extremely high.
Yeah, a great day, then a dog water day, then an okay end. Not bad.
Hey, if it gets you enough to win the whole thing and win $15,000, I wouldn't complain at all. But then you have to ask yourself, who's going to be the MVP of this? I'm going to go first. I'm going to give you guys some time here, not because I know who it's going to be.
I think we have it in mind already.
There's only
Okay,
one
so
person.
we'll 3, 2, 1 countdown and we'll do it. So
Okay.
3, 2, 1, and then we'll go, right? 3, 2, action.
Top.
Oh. No, it was like top. So I meant like go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You were
of course.
counted down like a movie slide. Action.
Exactly. Oh, we're all
What?
wong.
Excuse me?
Joke's on you guys.
Wait.
How many kills? Sorry, how many limbs did they get in that previous game just then?
They had 3 Stalwart in that game, I believe.
No,
And-
how many did
Alpha
Alpha
7
have?
I didn't see.
They had like 7, didn't they? Ish.
Okay.
remember.
So did Action just get them all and Top did nothing in this game?
If
Is that
that's
what
because
happened?
Top had 11.
He had
before this
11
game,
coming
so
into today.
Oh.
Top is second. Carrillo is third.
So
We're
close.
all wrong.
Now, don't you two like idiots making fun of me?
Yeah, but you were
You were-
definitely
you were wrong too.
way off. You were another game.
I think we're all
I don't know what
equally
you were
off.
doing.
We were all equally wrong. But
No,
Revo,
we
he
weren't.
is all right here as the secret MVP of the duos, and of course, potentially moving up the ranks when it comes to the team event. As I have a producer laughing at me in my ear. That is not appreciated. Supposed to be on my side. So thank you so much for that, Addy. But obviously, with 2 minutes left to go before we do get into the main event here, the team event, I'm really excited to see what's going to happen because Vampire Esports, as we saw in the main event last week, day 1, fantastic day. 39 points at the first match.
Yeah.
Day 2, non-existent. I'm worried that because they had a fantastic day 2 yesterday, maybe they're going to fall off here in day 3. Maybe they're going to repeat the performance of last week.
That's the thing, like, they are currently a contender for first place, but if you want to catch up to Alpha 7, not only must you have a good day like they did yesterday, you must hope Alpha 7 has a bad day. And unfortunately, from what we've seen so far, Alpha 7, they're looking hot. They had 2 great days in a row.
Yep.
I don't expect them to fall off today.
I think it's definitely a competition between the top 3. When you look at how far that they put themselves ahead, of course, as you say, Alpha 7 really looking primed. And after taking away this 2 days, it feels like they came in to this stage the most prepared, knowing kind of what game plan they wanted to go in with across all the battlegrounds, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, it bodes well for them in this final day.
Okay, well, gentlemen, we do have 1 minute and 20 left to go before we can head into this match. It is time to get things ready to go. But once again, before we do hop into this match, I'm going to give a big shout out here to Aramco, one of the sponsors of this event, to make these 6 weeks possible, as well as Saudia. Again, without these fine companies, we would not be here today watching some of the finest PUBG Mobile action the world has to offer. But speaking of finest things the world has to offer, go over to our caster duo of John Allen and Blake.
That's right. It's me, John Allen. Again, I'm going to keep doing that until it dies.
I think it's DOA already, honestly. I'm so
Nice.
sorry. Yeah. I think it needs to stop now.
That's not my fault.
Cease!
I didn't start it.
You know, look, looking at these teams at the moment in the After Party Showdown, I love Down 1 Kia. They're probably one of my favorite teams, okay, right? But as a European caster, I do have to support Alpha 7 now in their pursuit for glory, for victory. So I think we need to pull a 7 Worlds Gaming. Are you ready for a 7 Worlds Gaming?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let's see if we do the same thing. You ready? On 1, 3, 2, 1. Do Brazil! There we go. Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. We're ready for this one. We're getting into game. It's a wrangle to start things off strong and steady. We'll be getting the match very, very shortly here as we do see our playing path. You can't see it quite yet, but I'm going to fill you in regardless. We're heading from Quarry all the way up to Stalba, so we're getting that southwest up towards the northeast playing path. John.
Cutting straight across the diagonal here. Should be fairly open. Looking at What a Stalwart going to do? I mean, we've seen them basically go Novo every single time, even in these 12-team lobbies. Potential to be a little bit late on that one, but they can drop around those roads Ferry Pier, try and pick up some vehicles, head out that way. Nothing really too tricky for a lot of teams.
Yeah, this is like a very nice playing path for a lot of different teams here. If you're trying to get over towards the eastern side, let's say Milta Power, Lipovka, slightly more difficult, but there is plenty of roads here where you can pick up some of the vehicle spawns, especially even Georgia Pole. You know, if you head up towards Hospital, I think there's like 2 buggy spawns up on that side as well, so you can really pick yourself up some quick vehicles and get moving. Most eliminations swept there with 19 eliminations so far, John. That's kind of a surprising one for me, considering he's done so much here in the After Party Showdown. And I think, you know, because Fluketh and Stone both had such a good PMWI, he's showing up here in the After Party Showdown to try and earn as much as possible for his team.
Mythic there topping the tables for headshots, as well as Stoned on 4 as well. Bumping it up to 6 in this 18-game series. Oh, Revo doing so much work. I mean, these guys are the top 3 for eliminations as well as knockouts. It's really good news for them in terms of their performance. Nada Limslow is pretty tight at the top 3, the maximum that we've seen.
Absolutely. I think, you know, Mafioso as well as Revo, you know, they're both very, very good players. You can see how high they are in the knockouts, but I think every single player on Alpha 7 does play their own particular role. You know, Carrillo's very, very good when it comes to those clutch moments. And I really do like the addition of Mythic. I think he's provided this amazing defense for the team. You know, he's not always the most flashy player in the world, but when it comes to preventing teams from wiping them or getting a quick swivel on teams that are flanking from the side, you know, that is where he absolutely does shine.
Ooh, a little bit of spice here for 7C and Bigatron as they hot drop on top of one another.
A little bit spooky for them up in Severny, but it's a nice place to start for yourself, especially with the circle. If you didn't quite catch it, or you're just joining us now, it did head up towards that northern side of the map. I would say fairly central over both the middle islands, well, towards the north of the island as well. So we don't have a huge amount of water in this one. So it provides some pretty decent rotational paths for a lot of these teams. Stalwart, on the other hand, all the way down towards Novorepnoye, they're not going anywhere. And you would know that they drop Novorepnoye every single time if you are tuning in to the PMWI. And if you watch together with us for the 2022 PMWI Watch Together, you can head over towards that in-game esports center, watch with your friends to win yourself some PMWI special sets.
You can look fresh as anything doing it as well. If you're grabbing those gun skins and outfit, the PMWI packages are on sale for a limited time, and you can also win PMWI treasure crates if you play PUBG Mobile during PMWI.
That's the key part of that one. That's the key part. Make sure you're playing during the PMWI, because we are coming to a close now. You know, we're in our first match of the main event. There's no show match at the end of the day. We already found our victor for that in Stalwart Esports. No second runner-up for them this time. They're taking it all. That's happy days for them. So as we head through the next 6 games, I'm going to say 6 games right now because we're really in just that very beginning of our angle right now. Do you think any team can start to challenge Alpha 7? Because they are ahead. But not by
no, I don't think.
All right.
I don't think anyone. I don't think anyone's gonna.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
It's gonna be very.
All right. Yeah. I get it. I get it. Alpha 7. They're just way ahead of anyone else right now.
To be fair, I mean, we joke around, but they are astonishingly far in the lead for the fact that they've only played 12 games, being 27 points ahead of Vampire Esports. I mean, it feels like it's going to be a really, really hard task for them to catch up to that. Right, over these 6 games, you're looking at close to 5 points extra per game for Vampire Esports over these next 6, right?
Yeah.
And a team like Alpha 7, to outperform them by that margin is very, very hard.
Absolutely. Zuxi, though, N249 blasts Sarang out of our angle there. And he'll take the first elimination reward of $2,000 going over towards the Bigatron Red Aliens, and Zuxi picking up that one.
Well, that's the thing as well, right? I don't think Alpha 7 are going to be dethroned at the top, But there are plenty of teams that could take a couple of chicken dinners and look towards out-earning them. I mean, S2G, for instance, right? A lot of money found for them.
Sneaky.
They're sat in 6th place, right, at the start of this game, but they have a lot of cash on the cards. And that's kind of the really exciting thing about this after-party showdown. It's those in-game bounties.
Yeah, they love Sandhawk, man, because they are able to get that first team elimination a lot of times. And, you know, it goes either way for both R8 and S2G. You know, they take their chances with one another, right? It's like either R8's going to get that $5,000 or we're going to get that $5,000. And I mean, both teams would take your chances on that. You know, you might not get the most points in that game, but you will get the first elim. You will get the first team elimination. And, you know, that could add up to a total of $7,000 on the game. Just 3,000 under, getting that chicken dinner.
I mean, even if you're taking a coin toss on the fight, right, 50-50, on average, you're getting $2,500 per game.
Yeah.
If you're hot dropping.
Exactly. That doesn't include the first elim either. So, you know, there is a lot to be had for S2G. And I think that drop over towards Sandhawk is nice. Zoxy, though, on a tear right now with the M249. Taking it. Close quarters with 7Cs at the moment. Zoxy with the mini Uzi will just look to finish it.
And this is good news for Bigatron, right? A team that seemingly dodged the money so far in the previous 2 days' games. They pick up that 2,000 for that first elimination, and they're looking to try and take out the rest of 7C. Not so good if you're a fan from the Indian region, though, as Scout and Spray God look to defend.
Missouri. It's a fair bit of damage there, but Zoxy will knock another, and Spray God now just Scout all on his lone. Has to pull something magical to make this one happen. It's very unlikely, and Zoxy, an absolute machine with the M249, and Luxy lobbing that one over the top. It's simple pickings for BTR, $7,000 earned. First match of the day.
And the first special elimination as well.
9K.
An extra 2. 9K on one fight. Incredible result for Bigatron. I think they started on, what, like 11, 17, something around that sort of mark in the teens. So nearly doubling their earnings in one fight.
What a calculated finish that was. We'll get the first elim, we'll push up, then we'll drop the nade over the top to finish the last, and we'll get all those prizes in one.
That is a $7,000 nade.
Yeah.
That one elim, the final elim on a team, the first special elim. Beautiful.
You gotta love it. They're also currently heading up most team eliminations right now. I don't know for how long, but it would be funny if they do finish it like this. We do see the nade now as it pops over the top. Look, see, cool guys don't look at explosion, just runs away.
I know I've done this. This fight's already over.
Absolutely.
You just hear the katana resheath.
Shing!
I knew you'd make the noise. I knew you'd do that. I knew it.
Oh, you know, I've been practicing for this very moment.
I can tell.
Yeah. Like, in that eventuality, I will bring out the best katana sheath that anyone's ever heard. Getting straight back to the game, though, Circle does head up a little bit further towards the north, so still very indecisive at the moment. It's at the counter, can't pick between the Peppermint and the Spearmint garments at the moment. I just don't know where this Circle's going to head. I think, you know, these teams are also going to be in the same boat, trying to figure out where is the best position to hold. I do like Team Falcon's spot at the moment, though. Diz does actually give you a lot of opportunity to hold out teams like Rod coming in from Yasnaya. Even teams like Damwon Kia, should they need to move through, they'll have to head over either that eastern bridge or the bridge that's right in front of them, just the east side of Rozhok. And either way, Team Falcons should get a bead on them.
I'm just trying to figure out how much BTR could potentially earn in one game, right? Because if they get most team elims after the first team elim, that would be 10K. If they get most elims after the first elim, that would be another 17K, bringing us up to another 7, bringing us up to 17K. First and most special elims would bring us another 4, bringing us to 21K. Unfortunately, though, the first airdrop was not collected by them, which means that their maximum could be 22K on the game. With the 10K chicken dinner, make that 32.
Yeah, that would be some big earnings. However, that's also a lot of ifs right now. They have made it happen already with 3 of the awards going their way. We're still looking down towards Alpha 7 to remain strong in this match and continue to push their lead ahead of any of the others in the lobby. 137 you see there over Vampire Esports with 110. Quick check-in back with those most eliminations. Korea, Revo just working in tandem. 23 each, sharing the love, and that circle is brutal. This is where Team Falcons can start to get a little bit of work done over on that East Yaz bridge. Unfortunately, the circle doesn't head over towards them, so do they consider moving over to the western side and just giving this up for better positioning within the circles? Lots of tree lineup here as well, John, so many places to hide in this match.
With fewer teams as well, I mean, this is phase 2, right? A lot of these teams are going to be able to make that cross. Personally, if I was playing this game, I would rather this hardship now than later to decide the side of the river. Everybody knows they need to commit north, and that's the move they're going to make. Enigma Galaxy under pressure from Stalwart, but that rotation will carry on as planned for Enigma Galaxy.
This time, trying to get into the circle, nice and early, but still down towards the southwest side. They're really taking their time with it. Stalwart, you can kind of understand it, considering they're coming from Novorep. They're just underneath Rozhok at the moment, closer to school. Deadeye guys starting to move their way across that East Island bridge, but RA currently with a lineup on the bank side, looking to prevent any of these rotations coming through, but they will have to deal with both Enigma Galaxy as well as Deadeye's guys. Well, they're coming back, in fact.
Okay. Spray. Fortunately, you can get through that tree. Maybe a lesson or two for Maxman. Stop driving us into trees on our games. But they won't be impeded on this roll around the sunken city. Deadeye's guys keep themselves on the south shore, though.
I don't know if that was a new airdrop or the one that they'd looted before. So I think there's a few reasonings behind it that you can go for. Perhaps you spot R8 on the bank side. You don't want to take your rotation just yet. You wait for the next circle and then head in late. Or they were just looking for most airdrops on the game. On the other hand, Enigma Galaxy have taken a really long wrap, but it's BTR once again. Zuxi absolutely killing it this match.
All right, okay, they want more. They are looking for that 32 max earning right now. If they can pick up the most air crates, they could earn it up there. Nades pouring in over the top. Rod. They are literally in a shooting range right now.
Yeah. Zuxi's just outside with the gun with 150 bullets in it. So he's ready for a good time. Gemforce baiting some shots out. That'll give Zuxi some time to figure out where these players are hiding at. Luxi moves around the side. And they are just surrounding them.
Gemforce with the M16 has a little range to play with there. Luxi drawing that fire. Kato not quite able to land the shots you're looking for. Smoke on that fence line does help them out. And Luxi finally goes down to Munir on the off angle. Behind a rock though, so safe for now. Can't really get out of this situation to try and push this knock.
Has drawn a ton of attention though. That molly will force Kaito out, but has to be very wary of this grenade that comes through onto Luxi's position. Doesn't hit him for too much. He's just biding his time, tries to peek up. Just a little bit of damage. Misery starts to come round. I think he's making a wide wrap potentially to pick up Luxi here. But the more they can put them in this awkward scenario on the northern side of the circle, there's really no teams around here other than Alpha 7 off in the distance. But you can see in shooting range, this is kind of an enclosed area. Munir takes some shots from the Silence M16.
It sounded like a VSS there. I was like, hang on a minute, has he got? No, he's got the M16. I was baited. I certainly wouldn't get that one on a this or that. It was a suppressed M16. I think I'd be fooled.
You think so?
I think so.
The VSS is a little bit faster, you know.
Well, it depends how fast you're shooting it.
A bit more whistly. That's about the best way I can describe it, really. Still, nades coming through. I like this from BTR. I think they realize that, you know, if they can lock them down in these fences, it's almost like putting Rod in maximum security, with BTR being the wardens at the moment. Alpha 7, though, dangerously close to this spot.
I'll tell you what we were looking at, right, in terms of the leaderboard, is Vampire Esports trying to close that gap. Right now, Vampire, slap, bang, middle circle, heads-up rotation as always, as the Falcons try and hamper these wild rides coming through from the Deadeyes guys. Yusuf is getting rolled up on. Plenty of players and a DBS to handle. I don't know if Yusuf can bear the brunt here. Cooking the nade, and it's just into the firing line. So hard to handle. 3 players jumping out in your face. Not much to do.
It's a fair attempt, though. You take the nade out, but Deadeye's guys were on top of it. Alpha 7 have lost a play here. It's S2G taking shots from below. They're holding around a compound just on the eastern side, and that's Mafioso knocked and flushed. Alpha 7 still have one player on knee, though. Revo will fight back just a little bit, take some shots onto Forest, and there's Zuxi once again popping up in the kill feed.
Bigatron Red Aliens, 6 eliminations now, with that flush coming through. Potentially another one as well to add on to the tally. 7. So they are really gunning for this top spot. They're gunning for the money. They've already earned themselves 9K on this game, and they want more. 7 elims, certainly the top in this current standing.
Zuxi feeling relatively motivated during this game. You know, not always in the main roster anymore either, so it's nice to see him coming in and doing some formidable work. Favian, oh my lord, that is some fancy driving.
Has to put it in reverse as he spun out with the tire, nicely finding the rock there, so somehow finding Sanctuary. A hard south shift means there's more distance to go as BTR, hang on a minute, Genfos did get knocked there. Desha at the back, out in the zone there. More team elims for Bigatron, of course, would be good, but if Alpha 7 are on the case, that's going to be all the harder. Down one here, eliminated by Enigma Galaxy.
Yeah, Revo causing some serious problems for BTR at the moment as Zuxi's also knocked. I believe it is just one player remaining, and Desha, who wants some serious revenge on BTR, might just be able to make this happen.
Luxy getting flushed out there, leaving BTR on 3 with 1 knock. A little bit isolated. Nade from Desha, over the top, little bit far. First aid coming through, Genfos knocked. He needs to push up. Carrillo just not letting it go. Not quite getting that knock, but Zuxi, fortunate. And the run looks to be stopping. Somehow, Desha is still alive. It looks like Alpha 7 haven't taken that fight. There's a squad elimination, so they are up to 2, but Bigatron, their run is cut down.
Still, fair amount of points in that game, just with eliminations alone, up to 9 on that match. Will have earned themselves a fair amount of money, which is all you can ask for. Silas spots action, should have been a freebie, but he's able to leap up on his feet. He's been doing his burpees this morning, get behind the tree afterwards.
Work those quads. Try and pump it up. Stalwart getting rolled up on it. Looks like the Deadeye's guys, they tried it once before, but it's not going to work when Top's on the case. This red hair is on fire.
Can't stop Top once he starts to get it rolling. And even, again, you know, we're just in duos action. Following it on from the last match, we have Action and Top still remaining for Stalwart. Now, S2G, they've been harrying Alpha 7 for a long time so far. It's a nice shot from Ravenclaw, though, off in the distance that takes down Revo.
Putting more nades down the range as well is a massive result if they're able to land them. A little bit short, a little bit right on that push, but that one's good. Kelsey, though, chiming in against Alpha 7. This is excellent news for Vampire Esports if Alpha 7 go down here. Carrillo, they played spoiler to Bigatron on the north side, but it looks like they're getting shut out themselves out in the circle. Last player for Alpha 7. Carrillo needs to heal. Shut down by Action. Raze doesn't get the off angle, and Carrillo goes down outside the play zone.
Vampire Esports still have to move down into the circle here, but S2G, they've got a good shout into this one. Vampire Esports, 0 eliminations on this game, and if they want to catch up to Alpha 7, currently at the top with 137, probably more after this game as well, they do need to get cracking on with some of those eliminations because the teams are starting to dwindle. Only 18 left alive here with 5 teams still with a gun at that chicken dinner.
At the moment, Alpha 7 at the end of that game, 143 points. Vampire Esports yet to score, which puts them 33 points behind. A blinder of the game necessary. It won't be achievable in this current lobby, I don't imagine. R8 in an engagement with Enigma Galaxy. SK Ton sprayed, but not taken down just yet. Not out of the mix. Freak, not so lucky. Taken down. Ralph Lowe, R8, taking this fight and doing well so far. Amodi, nade over the top. Wants to put ID down for now. As Ralph getting rezzed. Freak as well needs to be picked back up for Enigma Galaxy to have power here.
Stops though, flushes out one player from Enigma Galaxy, and R8 are just sending in the explosives. It's almost as if you've got A plane dropping over the top with the bombs on side, but it's S2G laid low and bare by grenades coming through from Vampire Esports. Another one comes through too, now just top alive behind the blooming smoke.
And there's more pressure being exerted by Vampire Esports. They laid in wait for their prey to roll on up. And speaking of rolling on up, ID rolls straight up onto Lord. Hamodi, last player for Enigma Galaxy, but he's got an M249. Not going to be able to leverage that ammo as R8 win the engagement against Enigma Galaxy, bringing themselves up to a pretty high point tally. At the moment, though, I think Bigatron Red Aliens might still have highest eliminations.
Maybe, John. Stalwart does go down as Vampire Esports start to rack up these points. A back-to-back to finish the day yesterday with 2 chicken dinners. Now, they're looking for that coveted turkey here. 30K in 3 matches, John, would be insane.
Oh, Schweppes looks for the back shot. Now they can sweep down this hillside in a line. They have every elevation covered. Prestige finds out all about it. Shots raining down towards Ravenclaw, but there's pressure from the side, and this is coordinated pushing coming through from Vampire Esports. They are on the money with these angles. SK-Ton trying to sneak it around the side, but Ravenclaw far too heads up, out in the open, gets traded, and it's all Vampire Esports all day. What a way to close it out.
3 chicken dinners, one after another. How do they do it? Here in the after-party showdown, Ravenclaw swoops down the side and hits a beautiful flank. They call him Ravenclaw because he swipes. What an incredible game coming through from Vampire Esports once again, and they are looking to move up above not only Alpha 7 in terms of prize money, but including the actual points at the top of the leaderboard. Goodness me, John.
What a way to start things off. They are definitely not out of it yet, and Alpha 7 needing to put a little bit more work in to keep that gap there. They still have some buffer to work with.
They absolutely do have a little bit of a buffer to work with, but not too much. I mean, yes, I think it's around about 20 points perhaps ahead right now, roughly, of Vampire Esports. But regardless, they are really making one hell of a run to catch them up in these final moments. And Vampire Esports, you know, they are in this sprint now, John.
Absolutely. They were 33 points behind at the middle point of that game. 19 points on the game. That's an excellent margin to make up. We're going to head to a break. We'll be back with the desk.
مع التحديث الجديد لستي سي بلاي تجربة جديدة للكل. لو جوك دايم تحديات نافس وانضم للبطولات. استكشف الشات والتايم لاين وتسوق من متجر التطبيق. الليدر بورد على تفاعلك بالتطبيق، والجوائز الأسبوعية والشهرية على نظام النقاط تنتظرك. ستي سي بلاي، مهما كان جوك هذا محلك.
Progress is a race that has no end. After every finish line, another challenge awaits. How can we continue to push innovation in a sport at the forefront of technology? This is how. Discover how Aramco and the Aston Martin Formula One team aim to meet Formula One's sustainable fuel targets. Aramco, powered by How.
Out of the last 5 matches, Vampire Esports have taken 4 of them with chicken dinners. That's $40,000 as a baseline for themselves to add to their tally of the $500,000 they won in the main event last week. Ridiculous stuff out of Vampire Esports. I love you guys. I'll give you my PayPal account info later on. Before we can break down this last match, though, the Sony Xperia 1-4 made in collaboration with professional players, professional esports players, only the esports ones, because that's what we care about when it comes to PUBG Mobile. And funny enough, it's actually the official smartphone partner here at PUBG. Gentlemen, let's take a look at the match rankings, though. We already know who took home the Chicken Dinny. And they got themselves 19 points. But I will say that, what's wrong with Chicken Dinny?
He did say Chicken Dinny.
You did say that, yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong with it? How's that weird?
It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Continue.
They got 19 points.
Yes, they did. And, I mean, considering they got this many Chicken Dinnies in 4 out of 5 games.
All right, Max. Okay, I can handle
weird.
Colaris, but,
it's obscene. Actually kind of obscene. They're playing the circles better than these other teams around them.
Yeah.
You were mentioning Ravenclaw was scouting very, very well to be able to find themselves these certain positions that they're taking mid. And nobody's crashing them. Nobody's trying to push into them. They are just holding strong, holding firm.
And the cool thing, too, is when Ravenclaw was scouting that one compound that was in the circle at the end, the execution was instant. He was there for, like, what, 10 seconds tops. And the team was already on the move, already aiming for the compound because everyone was fighting. They were hearing all the fights up north. They're like, this is the prime time. This is the Goldilocks moment to push in that exact position. They send it. They get the win. I mean, it's the exact same rotation they do every game on the Wrangle. It keeps working time and time and time again. I'm going to say it. They crack the code, and no one's going to compete there.
Cracking the code. I mean, to be fair, at the very end as well, with the position they had, they could pick and choose their fights. I was talking to you about this, Colaris. They're just sitting like, we don't want to fight. We can disengage because they have the high ground. But also, at the same time, the shift we did have, I think 2 zones before that, I think even Avenger was pointing out while in the talent room we were watching.
The hard shift south?
Only like 2 teams are even near that zone, and every other team had a transition down. That was very rough.
If you're a Vampire Esports when that shift comes, there is concern because you know that there are a lot of fights going on north of you, and eventually someone should, all of those fights kind of conclude, and then teams crash down in towards that compound potentially. But it was a little bit of fear from the rest of the lobby. I feel like if maybe 2 teams actually try that, maybe they displace Vampire or kind of cause them a little bit of wound. But it's difficult to just say it and be able to execute it on the battleground.
And I'm just connecting the dots right now, actually, because when you think about it, they got 4 chicken dinners out of the 5 last games, right? That's all on different battlegrounds also. Yeah. And we talked about how hard it is to adapt to all of these different maps. They got 4 battlegrounds already in their pocket because they just dominated on those games.
Yeah, it's the fundamentals that they're bringing to the game are just so strong. Never mind the knowledge of the map, etc., and things like that. It's the fundamentals that they bring that are head and shoulders above a lot of these teams.
You know what, Close? I want you to bring up something you did say in the green room while we were watching about Empire Sports, because you were saying this wasn't a team that you went into this event that was like, okay, they're probably going to win the whole thing, or they have a good chance of winning the whole thing.
No, agreed. When we were kind of prepping things and obviously looking at how it went down, taking a look at all of these from Sandhawk once again, but like the fact that Vampire in their region looked great. There's no denying that. They looked good, but then there's question marks. How are they going to approach these 18-team lobbies? Did it very well. Did it very successfully. How are they now going to approach these 12-teams lobbies? They've not really changed too much from how they approach the 18-team lobbies, but now they've got even more room to work with here in the second weekend. So it's kind of, after the initial kind of small learning curve of the first day or so, now they've really, as he said, cracked the code.
I think what's impressive for them is, or not for them in general, but obviously for this event is we don't get to see a lot of these international clashes, right? So it's really hard for other regions to know who's really strong within their own region besides the fact of PMPLs. But this is a good sporting ground to show the world what you have. Vampire Esports for me could be a very strong contender when it comes to PMGC if they get in.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it happen with Mongolia in the past, right, with Zeus, and now also with the likes of Star Wars. They just dominated and then just put Mongolia on the map. We've seen a very similar thing happen here with Vampire. And for their first international tournament, not only winning, the main tournament, potentially also winning here the After Party Showdown,